generally interested in Titan Moon, Fate, Tsukihime, Melty Blood, blah, 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 you are more than welcome to join the Discord as well. We have talks about it all the time and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I guess I should have clarified that. You know, if you're just a casual fan that wants to discuss the franchise, then absolutely you're more than welcome there as well.
If you're a hardcore sweat lord like Titan Moon lore nerd, go to Beast Lair. We don't need you.
We don't need you.
Yeah,
he's got a point.
If anyone is familiar with the word gatekeeper, you're probably in the right place.
Yeah, but we have a very, very strong opinion about gatekeeping, and we strongly do not allow it. So.
Oh, man. All right. So, while people are still filing in, we still have 5-ish minutes before we're going to start. So, let's go ahead and start with the question we always ask at the beginning of these things. We would like to know what y'all started with when it comes to the Titan Moon universe. So, we'll start with Tsukihime. Raise your hand if you started with Tsukihime.
Maybe like 4 or 5 people?
4 people.
Hey, that's a lot.
Man, y'all are old.
That's a lot.
I mean, it's good, to be fair. All right, let's do Fate, Stay Night, Dean Anime. Oh, wow. Okay, that's more than I expected.
I'm in that camp. I'm in the Dean camp.
All right, Fate, Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, Dean movie.
What about the Karen no Kyokai, or Garden of Sinners? Was that your introduction work? Just 1, 2?
I can't remember if I actually saw that or Super. It was
Fair
like
enough.
within the same week.
50-50.
They're both about
50-50, we're just gonna have to cut your hand off.
There's a lot of murdering in both of those properties, like quite a bit of murder.
What about Fate Zero? All right, that's more like it.
Yeah, that's about normal. Okay, cool.
We will have some things to say about Fate Zero in this panel. It's been a while since we've talked about it.
Melty Blood. Oh, all right, my people. My man.
Who read Tsukihime from playing Melty Blood way back in the day? No one? I didn't think so.
One person.
One person.
Wait, who read Tsukihime?
Imagine getting motivated to a story visual novel from playing a fighting game.
That's
Couldn't
what I
be
did. That's literally exactly what I did.
I love the Titan Moon universe because these things can happen.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the elephant in the room question is who jumped in with Grand Order and then fell down the rabbit hole retroactively. A good few amount of people as well.
You don't need to hide your shame here. It's okay. We all judge equally here. Who got started in the Fate universe by reading a doujin? I saw that hand come up. You ain't slick. You ain't slick. I saw you.
What is the doujinshi doing?
Hey, doujin just means independently published manga, which means you could have read Prismalia, and that counts. Right?
I don't read doujinshi, I read manga.
Mango.
I like mangoes. They are my favorite fruit.
All right. So it is now a little bit over 7:15. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And we decided, since we have a little extra time, we're going to start with a little bit of a video.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, spoiler alert. So here we are. We have arrived at apocalyptic future, kind of. And we are in a situation where we all must wear masks. So it is important to make sure all servants and masters must wear their mask in the year of 2021, the year of our Lord. And always make sure you wash your hands before beginning Grail Wars. And now, this is 2021, the year of 2021, and this is the Titan Moon Universe fan panel. If you have been here with us before, you pretty much know who we are, but we did see some new people here, and that's fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and go down the table and introduce ourselves. I will start with CJ.
Hey everybody, so my name is Clinton Bradley. I got into the Titan Moon series with Fate Stay Night back in 2010. And through discovering, going down the rabbit hole and discovering all the different routes and everything, I fell in love with the series and decided just to randomly throw together a cosplay from it. And then Zero came out the year after, and all these dormant fans started coming out of the woodworks, and that kind of lent itself to creating this cosplay group that we have now. And as the years started going by and it started getting more and more mainstream, we started getting more and more members. And so I am sort of the lead administrator for the Type in the Southeast cosplay group. I put together all the photo shoots, and I'm the weird nerd extrovert in the group where I just kind of help coordinate everybody, keep everybody together, and I'm a big extroverse apologist. So yeah, I have some controversial opinions about some bad video games. But yeah, we've been doing this since 2014. If you go back even further than that, I did a Fate panel at a con in Alabama in 2013, so we've been doing this for a long time. And this is my favorite thing that we do all year. I wait all year to do these. I love doing this.
So, that is CJ, and which of the Jameses wants to go first?
Let's go with you. This James.
Hi guys, my name is James Trin, or I go on the Discord if you guys are on there. I go by Trin Taku as well. Notable things about me, I like Fate a lot. I like Type Moon a lot. I spend probably way too much money on Fate Grand Order than I probably should. Out of all the panelists here, I'm probably the only one who plays Fate Grand Order. Actually, I am the only
You are, yes.
Absolutely.
I probably have too much free time on my hands to talk about things regarding like Type Moon and Fate. So that's just the kind of person I am.
AKA, if y'all want to pick his brain, go for it. So I am James Rankin, and yeah, that's two Jameses. And I have been in Fate since the Dean anime. And after that, I read the Fate visual novel. And then after that, it all just went downhill for me. And I've loved every bit of it. So for the panel, I usually do all the PowerPoint stuff, all the tech stuff. And that's me. And before we start, I would like to thank the AWA AV staff so much for helping us set everything up. Thank you.
You guys are fucking awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
And I guess I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Joey. If you go on the Discord, I am Perpetual Ownage. That is who I am. I am going to be the moderator of this panel. And to explain my backstory, if you haven't heard it, I money matched my way into a Japanese PS2. I bought a version of Melty Blood Acadenza in a $15 bargain bin, learned how to play it, downloaded the entire translated version of the GameFAQs translation of it so I could figure out what I was reading, and then figured out that it was connected to Tsukihime. Then I went down the rabbit hole from there.
Good man.
Yes, I know, thank you. I'm a man of culture.
Yes, you are.
So, the thing about this year, or the last 2 years since we've seen y'all, is in 2 years a lot of shit happens. That puts it incredibly mildly when it comes to last year.
Wait, it's been 2 years?
Yes.
2 years.
We have to always remember 2020 did not exist.
Who was here at our 2019 panel where we did a Melty Blood cockfight? That was fun, right?
Hell yeah.
I keep forgetting that I called it that.
That
Anyway.
was the most clean thing ever.
So, sadly this year, I will have to say, we are not going to do Melty Blood this year. We are going to do it next year, probably. Or maybe if we get it in MomoCon, why not do it then? So, the big thing though is a lot of stuff has come out, a lot of stuff has been introduced, and we kind of narrowed it down to one thing that has basically opened up everything, and that one thing has recently had its 10th anniversary, and that is Fate Zero. So, what we're going to do real quick is we're just going to spend a few minutes talking about Fate Zero, because it has legitimately been for us a while since we've either seen it or hell, even really talked about it. So I wanted to bring it up into the panel. We all agreed. So we're going to chat about Fate Zero for just a little while. And then we're going to move on with the stuff that has been coming out over the past 2 years. So who wants to go first?
I do.
All right, go for it.
So it is crazy to think about that Fate Zero is 10 years old, because it really, unless you count Kara no Kyokai for being the first ufotable Type Moon co-project, Zero really set the bar like for modern animation. It was the first series that I watched week by week as every episode was airing during the streaming sites era of anime that we live in right now. And it is probably my favorite anime of all time. Like it is, if it's not number one, it's tied for number one or it's number two. And I think that we owe a lot to Fate Zero for the popularity that the entire franchise has accumulated to this point, because it was so high quality, and it was one of those things where it stood well on its own, and it stood well as a tie-in to Fate Stay Night. And I still think that everything of the production quality was just outstanding, especially the soundtrack. I still say that soundtrack by Yuki Kajiura is one of the best soundtracks put in any piece of media ever made.
It fucking crushes.
Any game, any movie, anything.
All right, who's next?
Before we move on to who's next, should we explain why we're showing Naked Gil?
Oh, well, number one, this is tradition, as we all know. If you have been to any of our panels before, we always show Naked Gil, because this is the embodiment of peak performance, and if you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. That just is what it is. So, but yes, that's why we have Naked Gil. And yeah, if you have anything to say about it, I don't know, apparently go fuck yourself. I don't know what to tell you. But
This is
anyway,
what peak performance looks like.
this is
You
what
may
peak
not like it.
performance looks like. Anyway, who's next?
So, Fate Zero was also one of the first animes that I saw week by week when it came out, and I was just, I will never forget the annoyance I felt when the first season of Fate Zero ended, because they split it up into 2 seasons. And when the first season ended, I was just like, oh, why? Why did y'all do this to me? I have to wait a year. No. But Fate Zero is really responsible for bringing this community together. Every year when we say, hey, who started, Type Moon with this or this, it's always Fate Zero that comes out on top. And, it really just stands the test of time. And it's just a fantastic anime.
I have a point to add to that as well. So does anybody know that, or does anybody remember that Fate Zero has a filler arc? Because after season 1 aired, there was little vignette OVAs that aired in the off season. That was a little.
Who was the character on?
Who was the featured character?
No, it was Irie and Fujimura.
Oh.
And it was Irie explaining to a young teenage Fujimura the rules of the Grail War, and it was a lore explanation of how the Grail War works for people that hadn't read the Fate Stay Night visual novel, for Japanese audiences on the broadcast version of the show.
From what I recall, that was a special. The actual filler episode featured.
That's not what I meant, though. That's not what I meant.
But filler.
It aired in the off season of between season 1 and 2. It's a filler.
I watched Lonely Rin go on an adventure in Fuyuki by herself, and she had like a full arc adventure in
She
one episode.
almost got ate alive by bugs.
So?
All right, Rin, we commend you for your courage.
I have an extreme bias.
Don't say.
I understand. I share that bias.
James, is that what you wanted to?
Hold on, give me 1 second. I see people I know. Trip, happy birthday.
What's up?
That's yours.
Fair enough.
Hey, Trip.
Anyways, yeah. I don't really have anything to add. You guys did a great job talking about Fate Zero. Great anime. You guys should watch it. Well, you've already seen it, right? Who hasn't seen it? You should go watch it.
Absolutely.
If you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. It's a good one. So, one of the big things that Fate Zero did is that it established Ufotable as basically the go-to studio for making mainline Fate properties. And from there, we had a lot of stuff come out. We had older stuff, but the main thing that we had happen was Heaven's Feel finally got its due. It finally got something rather than us just going, hey, did you read the visual novel? Did you know there's a third route?
So we should have
third route, something happens.
we should have asked this earlier here, but who has not seen Heaven's Feel for Spring Song yet? That's a lot more than I thought.
Oh wow, yeah,
Please watch it.
I read the
it
visual
is
novel.
fantastic.
Are you waiting? Raise your hand if you're waiting for the English dub.
Well, I hope you're not waiting for the now. The English dub has been released.
I'm just lazy.
So hey, if we go all the way back to our panel, the first one we did at AWA, which is AWA 2014, we showed the very first teaser for Heaven's Feel Part 1. And 3 years later, we finally got Part 1. 2 years later, we finally got Part 2. And then this one was delayed due to COVID, and it's finally had its US circulation twice now.
They took their sweet ass time to get it to us.
We do kind of want to talk spoiler free about it, but we do want to talk about it, that's for sure.
Oh, we're definitely talking about Heaven's Feel. Who is not aware in its entirety of what goes on in Heaven's Feel? Like, no idea. Like, absolutely none. I'm so sorry for you guys.
Yeah, so let's be respectful to their experience and not ruin it.
So, yeah, basically this route is Sakura's route. And she... Yes, I agree. Best 100%. But the big thing is, I think this movie, particularly the third one, is absolutely gorgeous. The movie itself is beautiful. I love how it's paced. I love how they're willing to mess around with a few of the more like quirky kind of ideas. And I love the fight scenes. I mean, even the scene that we showed at the beginning with Shiro ripping his arm off, giving us the jack off arm finally, and engaging the helm, the mighty helm of Heracles. And I just love it. It was a fantastic movie. It pulled me out of a doldrum, and I just love it. It was just fantastic.
Can I go off on a tangent?
Sure.
Okay, so the thing that I love about the Heaven's Feel movie trilogy and how this is a completely spoiler-free explanation because it's just about how they chose to adapt it from the visual novel. So they were in kind of a predicament because it's like, okay, the main character now has to deal with higher stakes and higher consequences than they did in the previous routes, but they're starting from the same square one as you would in any of the other two routes, right? So what do you do to prepare this character to deal with different things that they are not prepared to deal with? And so they include scenes, they include dialogue that really kind of sets Shiro's perspective in order, and that better prepares him for the situations he has to deal with. Because if you think about it from the visual novel standpoint, because of the medium of the visual novel, you are the player, you have linearly played through Fate route and Aluminum Blade Works route before you get to this route. So you have all the experience in context of the other two routes before you even begin this. So it makes sense that the character has evolved over time, even though diegetically that's not true. So in Heaven's Feel, the movie, they have scenes like in part one with Kirei at the church, where he's basically like, hey, I'm gonna tell you everything up front right away and make sure you know exactly what's going on and not lie to you at all. We're gonna be completely honest about how me and your dad fought and what you're up against. And that really kind of sets his perspective in order for him to deal with what's coming up. And then we get, in the second movie, he is, again, spoiler-free explanation, he's presented with a choice. And this is a choice that he's either forced to sacrifice his ideals or a person he cares about. And that is an incredibly difficult pill for him to swallow. And so it's the natural evolution of his ideological complex. And then in the third movie, for those of you that have seen it, my favorite moment in this entire trilogy is when, towards the end, Ilya asks him a question, and he says yes. And that is his entire character arc from all three routes coming full circle. And it's brilliant. I love that moment. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. That moment is brilliant.
It hit pretty hard.
It hit really hard.
James?
I guess You know, the one thing I wanted to really get across with the fact that this third part of the Heaven's Feel movie is that this is a visual novel from 2004, and it has 3 different endings, depending on what you chose. And I don't know on the top of my head how many other series have this much treatment and love that, you know, we have the entire visual novel animated for the most part. Sure, we don't have an official Fate route, but we have Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel, and that's all animated for you guys. Like, you don't have to read, like, a visual novel that's as long as War and Peace, or not War and Peace, The Art of War.
Twice and a half. It's 2.5 times as long as War and Peace.
Yes, it's 2.5 times long as War and Peace. You do not have to read that visual novel. You can just watch these movies and the anime series, and you can get the entirety of the visual novel for the most part. And that's pretty amazing. For a series that came from 2004, that was a visual novel that was hella niche, like, not many fandoms have, like, you know, can say that we got this treatment, and that's really impressive. And that's, like, the one big thing that I really wanted to, like, get across to, like, you know, you guys. Like, it's, like, I cry when I watch this movie. Like, you know, I had been, like, a closet fan of this series for the longest time. I was like, you know, man, no one watches Fate. No one watches Fate. No one knows about that. No one read the visual novel. But, you know, it's finally out here, and, you know, take your time and appreciate it. Like, it's great. So
I share that same sentiment as well.
Yeah, and before we move on, I do want to say my favorite scene of the third movie, and it is a tie between the scene CJ mentioned and the scene when Shiro is trying to stop Angry Man from being born, and he shows up, and I won't say who the character is, but it's pretty obvious by my description who it's going to be. He shows up and he goes, "Okay, I gotta kill that thing. Get out of my way, please." Anyway, and it goes like, "No, I'm not gonna get out of your way. I'm gonna be tough."
It's somebody with a bug.
Bam! Yeah, you weren't expecting that. You didn't think I was gonna hit you, huh?
So, in terms of controversial opinions, I did not like that scene in the visual. So if you know what we're talking about a very specific scene in the visual novel that's considered the climax, which if you read the visual novel, was probably the best scene in the entirety of Heaven's Feel. And it was not that great in the movie, in my personal opinion.
I'd wholeheartedly disagree. I think it was great in the movie.
Plus,
If you know what I'm talking about, if you liked it better than the visual novel, raise your hand.
It's just so hard to adapt.
Yeah.
It is a very hard
It is
thing.
very hard to adapt because it's an inner monologue. I will give you that, but that was the one thing that did not go well for me in terms of that adaptation.
I feel so sneaky. We're talking in codes. All right.
You can yell if you want.
Do you think that's because the studio focuses more on animation as opposed to monologue? If they chose a different studio to animate it, would the outcome have been different?
Yeah, probably.
Possibly, but then you.
I think that's more on the
animation.
director than the animation studio.
All right, so we could literally sit here the whole entire panel and talk about this, but for the sake of going over more things that have happened, we're going to go ahead and continue with something that was kind of mediocre. Oh wait, hold on. No, that's actually not mediocre. That's the stage play.
Oh yeah,
that's the good shit.
Yeah, we must have made a mistake.
Okay.
Let's try again.
All right, is it this one? Yeah. Okay, this one.
Oh, this piece.
So,
of shit.
yeah. So, hold up.
Who here has seen this?
Okay. Good.
This is probably not getting an official release from Aniplex US. They have not said anything whatsoever about the Camelot movies or Solomon whatsoever. So we're just talking about it because I think it's funny.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, the slide that we had before, that is the live-action stage play of the Camelot storyline,
and it's
fucking incredible. If you have not seen it, see it. It doesn't even matter if you can speak Japanese. Yes, they sing in Japanese the entire time. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. I love it.
Skip the movie. See the stage play.
Babylon is better. I 100% agree with that. So, we watched this, 2 months ago now?
We just watched it to talk about it.
Yeah,
just to
we
say
watched it because
it.
none of us had seen it yet. And I gotta be honest, I don't like it.
Is it really that bad?
It's boring. I won't really call it bad. It looks good for the most part. It's just boring.
So who here has played Fate Grand Order Camelot in English? Who remembers the scene that happens at the beginning when you go to the Singularity, and then you go meet a king, and then something happens with his part of his body, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, that was so great! That was hilarious." Yeah, that doesn't happen in that movie.
Yeah, they cut that bit out.
Toss the whole thing out.
Yeah, right? What? You know, so the movie literally puts you into the beginning, and you're literally standing in front of an asshole with a sun sword. I'm not gonna say his name because spoilers, but he's
This one right here.
But son.
Beat him up.
But
Anyways, this movie was kind of mediocre. Like, it has plans of official release from Aniplex US later in the year in December. So if you guys want to support Aniplex and give them more money, by all means, go buy this product in December. But as far as theatrical release goes, we do not have an official release as of yet, and it's 2021.
Second half?
Aniplex US has no news for this at all.
The second half is not out in
I think it
Japanese
would be better if
either,
you
by
watched
the
it
way.
back to back, but I don't know.
It would be, but the thing is, Aniplex US, throughout the entirety of the pandemic, did not release any news about this movie. But hey, we're getting Solomon.
that's something.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on as well.
So, and since last year, as I said, was quite the doldrum of a year, everyone needs a good pick-me-up every now and then. So we're going to continue with... So,
Well, hold on, real quick. So, everyone knows the best part about the Fate Stay Night visual novel, in terms of its story, was eating dinner at the Emiya household every single night, where we got, hot, fresh food from the best boy himself, right? And does anyone else remember this?
Yeah.
Anyways, this game came out this year, right?
Yeah, it came out in the summer.
Yeah, and it's basically Cooking Mama, except you're playing a Shiro. Shiro's Cooking Mama.
So as if the anime Emiya Gohan and the manga by extension were not pleasant and wholesome enough, we had to get a video game adaptation of it. You can digitally download this on the Switch in English right now. It's kind of expensive at $50 for what it is.
What?
But it's fun.
It's cheaper than Gacha.
It's fair.
it has more value than
It has
Gacha.
way more value
Shut
than
your face. I will take JPEG waifus with titties.
You're literally the one that said it!
It is so much more wholesome than Gacha.
Hey, you
It's $50. A pack of Gacha is $80.
If you're okay, look. You're talking about rolling for fan service. You get to cook dinner for Rin in this game.
I get to play as Rin in this game. I get to play as Rin. I get to cook next to the best boy Shiro.
Right.
And make a nice hot steaming meal.
But it's basically just a rhythm game like Cooking Mama. But the assets are great, the character models are great, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't play it because I don't care for Cooking Mama games. I'll openly admit that. So it kind of stuck under my radar. I did see footage of it, like CJ streamed it. I watched his stream. It was nice. He streamed it with his wife, which made
I was
it
bad at it.
wholesome. It's okay. It looks like cutting was hell.
It's wholesome.
It's Cooking with Shiro. It's great. Go buy the game. Go.
There's DLC that adds Lancer as well, which is great.
Wait, what?
Actually, that
Does he die?
That makes sense.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. So.
Chokes on a piece of fish or something.
So we have the wholesome bit done now. Now we can move on to the self-fulfilling memes, and that is almost.
Yeah.
It's 2021. Did you not get the memo?
Nani?
No, you don't get a question. Fuck you.
Where's Innover's core chaos?
Shut up.
We're gonna get him eventually, I assume. As long as the Dead Apostles thing is actually a Dead Apostles thing and not some bougie motherfucker showing up with ice powers.
By the way, I'm only being rude to him because he used to be on this panel.
Yeah.
He knows it.
So, years ago, Type Moon announced for the 10th anniversary of Type Moon, they were going to be doing a remake of Tsukihime. And we waited and waited, and they said, well, when will it be done? For the 20th anniversary, of course.
So, those of you that were here on 2019 for the AWA panel know that along with the Melty Blood tournament that we had, I also went headlong into the Tsukihime bandwagon of I demand this, I want it on my desk, I wanted it on my desk yesterday, get it to me as soon as possible. We had the rumors that it was that James provided for us at the time that the game was being play tested. I didn't fucking believe it. And then next thing you know, I'm just chilling out at work, and I get a message on my phone going, "Hey, Tsukihime's coming out in 6 months." What? And I was not in a position to enjoy it. And when I got home, I did. And then I found out that the game isn't coming with an English patch, and I have to wait for one because it looks like Type Moon is sitting on their fat asses deciding not to give me one, and all I want is to fucking be able to read this.
I want to play this game so badly. Why can't I?
So this was a meme for years. We were like, Tsukihime Remake, when's it coming out? We teased this thing for years. In 2019, James down here said, oh yeah, they're test playing it right now. They're test playing the scenarios. It's almost done. I was like, that'll never happen. It's not coming out.
Who's laughing now?
And then all of 2020 happened. All of the nonsense, all of the bull crap. We finally get to the end, and of course, Type Moon loves to make their announcements on New Year's. And it made that announcement with that trailer, with that OP, and I was like,
It
wow.
took a plague to make this damn game happen.
So how many of you lovely people over here watch JP streams for Fake Grand Order?
Who?
You guys are beautiful people. You guys need to get some sleep because you all deserve it.
So this was released on the PS4 and the Switch, but for some reason was not released on the platform that Tsukihime is most known for. So hopefully
that's another thing I'm very angry about.
that probably makes it way more difficult to get a translated version. I mean, you're probably likely sooner to read a transcript alongside playing a console port than to get an actually patched version.
I'm not doing that again.
Yeah,
I am
but
not doing
if
that.
they actually release a proper PC version, then yeah, we could actually potentially do a patched translation.
Yes. Yeah.
Could you come up to the mic and ask that again? Because you said Famitsu and I heard Nasu, and I was very intrigued when you
So
said
it's
Famitsu
also
and
worth
Nasu.
mentioning
No.
that
Add to the conversation.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yes.
So Nasu released an interview, I think it was like a month ago, where he was talking about Tsukihime in other languages like English and Chinese, and he
Yes.
said that they didn't have the resources to translate it.
Yep.
But they're actively translating FGO, which has like 5 million words, which I think is kind of stupid.
Yeah, it's because FGO's making it
Did you see the picture of Mafia with the Lost Belt 6, like the transcript of Lost Belt
It
6?
was like that.
Yeah, it's like this
It was
big.
ridiculous.
It's like a paperweight, like it's a stack of paper.
Yeah,
You know what you're talking about, you're
So
cool.
we all know that Nasu is a flesh automaton reanimated by Aniplex in 2013. Is that the way we only translated transfer for next to physically?
You're not wrong.
I think it's because he doesn't think there's any Tsukihime fans in the West that even like it. But like there's like a whole room down right here. So it's
Hey,
really stupid.
what did we do to change that?
Well, the problem with Tsukihime fans...
Hold on. Ma'am, before you leave,
Okay.
get something.
Oh, really? Wait, anything?
Yeah.
We didn't want to throw that at somebody, whereas we can throw the beans at
Yeah,
somebody.
we're going to throw these at
The beans
people.
can
It's
be-
kind of difficult to throw that at people.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But yeah,
By the way, I didn't mean to cut you off, James. I apologize. But later on, we're going to be having more of like an open forum. It's not going to be a full question and answer kind of thing, mainly because we have to make sure the panel keeps on moving. But we do have some stuff up here, not a lot like we normally have, but we are going to have we are gonna have the
Beans.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna be throwing these beans at people, so just be ready.
So you just
That's
have to
all I
ask
have to say.
yourself, do you want to be hit by Ozymandias or Gawain?
Vinci.
So unfortunately, like we can't really talk about Tsukihime Remake since none of us have really. Well, I played it because I imported
You
it.
don't know how to read Japanese. Shut up.
Shut. Yes.
Just look at pictures.
I do look at pictures and I listen to the words, but it's been genuinely good, and I cannot tell you the last time I enjoyed a visual novel in which it's very well produced.
Yeah, the asset quality is fantastic.
It's quite different. So like you'll notice some things if you play the game that is just like, oh wow, this is Tsukihime. It feels the same. You're playing a Shiki. He's going to his household and stuff like that. Things aren't that great for
He's
him.
lying on the porch and doing nothing.
But another thing that this established, though, is that we're going to make a brand new Tsukihime universe. That much I know. Because not only that, they also gave us Let's Go! New Melty Blood! Now, overall, I like the new Melty Blood. I do enjoy it. I do not think it is better than Actors Against Current Code. Thank you, yes. So, I do not think it's better than Actors Against Current Code. I think shielding is way too broken. I do not like auto combos, they irritate me. But one of the things that I do like about this game is they are focusing on it as a fighting game. They're not trying to fucking shoehorn a damn visual novel into it. So I don't have to worry about certain things interfering with me smashing buttons and smashing face.
They did shoehorn,
all those
shoehorn
fights,
something into it though.
They shoehorned Saber into it, yes.
So how many of you bought this game because there was a saber face in this game?
Well, how many?
I'm proud of you, son. I'm proud of you, my son. You did God's work. You did my work.
Hey, she plays
let's
great.
start
She plays
with
great in the
this.
game. It's,
She is so damn hunga bunga.
She's actually the lowest tiered character in the game.
I don't give a shit.
She's very unsafe. Like, okay, we're gonna talk about FGC stuff for a bit. Her frame data is garbage.
You're talking to someone that in Actors Against Current Code made Full Moon Mecha Hisui. I don't care. I'm having fun. But either way,
Oh, and they also simplified the moon mechanics too in this game.
yes, they did.
Left and right.
side note about this too. So it had a worldwide simultaneous release. So much like the Anya Gohan game, you can download this right now on your PS4 and Switch, which means
And PC.
and PC. So you can download it on your Switch and play it.
They got one
as
thing
intended.
I'm not bitter.
Except the physical disc is $110.
I bought it.
I did too.
I'm all about my digital overlord. I don't give a shit. Either
Not
way.
when you own 20
For shame.
PS4s.
I do not own 20 PS4.
I do. I own 22 PS4s actually.
There you go. But,
insane.
so, Melty Blood Tide Lumia is out. If you have not played a fighting game but you want to know what the hubbub is about, I would actually recommend it as a starter fighting game. It is a very, very clean system. Yes?
Your saber face one. I wanted to prove that she can kill servants.
Okay, so
Wow, that's genius.
that actually is my most. That's actually my most like dreaded thing about her inclusion is now I have to listen to arguments about who would win in a fight. I'm just like, no, maybe not. Yeah, Saber would thrash all of them except for like Red Arquade, pretty much, right?
So they
That
did
is
point out
genius.
when they introduced Saber that French Bread, when they developed the game, when they presented to Nasu and like the Lightworks and stuff like that, they showed them Saber. So Saber was like the character they wanted to pitch the game with. So it's not out of the left field. And like if you can include the other Shiki in a Melty Blood title, why not Saber, right?
Yeah. And the devs did genuinely want her in it, so I can't really be too angry about that.
Too much saber face?
I mean,
I don't know.
probably.
Like
Total
the-
global saturation.
Like the big thing about Melted Blood Type Lumina is the fact that the community who was playing Melted Blood had been playing a version of the game which had been like 10 plus years old, which came out with if you wanted a physical copy of the game, you had to go out of your way to get a physical collection, a physical copy of the Carnival Phantasm Blu-rays to get the physical copy, and that's like a $500 Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's worth. It's kind of worth it. But anyways,
That's why the community edition is so beautiful.
But you know what's not as expensive and is not as good?
Hey, oh, hold on.
If you want to know the walking embodiment of mediocrity,
Walking embodiment of memes.
They slow the OP down.
It's
not the same. They slow it down.
It's not the same. Yeah, we know. It's not the same. They recycle the joke. It's kind of the same thing.
literally just cut open the corpse of Carnival Phantasm and walk around in it. That's all you're doing.
What else is Grand Order?
So the problem with this is that when they made the original Carnival Phantasm, it was based off of Tsukihime and Fate, which were for the most part very serious. And so the jokes in it were pretty funny because it's like, haha, wouldn't it be really funny if we took the, grim dark murder fest that is the Holy Grail War and turned it into a game show or a touring car race or something crazy like that. So then we fast forward to this Carnival Phantasm, which exists in a world where Grand Order has been making fun of itself for years. And the actual script and even the English localization is full of memes and bad jokes, and not to mention the other like little OVAs and animation things we've had over the years that have been intentional parodies. This just kind of fell flat.
Don't listen to him. He doesn't live in the soul.
No.
Yes.
It just shows why Gudiko would be better than Gudao, because she is nothing but a meme lord.
I mean, have you read Rio comics? Like, Rio Fake Grand Order?
But all the anime have Gudao.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But either way, this also leads us into the soliloquy on...
I actually have like one quick thing to say about Grand Order.
What?
So I don't play it, as all of you know very well, but I have been fed the storyline from some people in the group, and where we're at with the Lost Belts, I think in concept is super interesting in terms of storyline. So I think conceptually what they're doing is really cool, because I like the idea that, without giving away spoilers, that we exist in, civilization has been able to advance to a certain point because we exist in like a good timeline. And that there are outside forces meddling with things just enough to keep us in that good timeline. And if one little thing went wrong, we would be in a completely different world and civilization would be wiped out. That's a pretty cool concept, and they really explore that really well in the Lost Belts, and I like that.
Well, we're the bad guys in the Lost Belt. We're literally killing, like...
Actually, that's a good point.
We are literally the bad guys in the Lost Belt. Like, I didn't want to talk too much about story because I'm mostly a JP player.
That's the only thing I have to add about Grand Order, is that.
It's been great, though. Who's looking forward to Atlantis in, like, several months? You guys ready to meet the best boy, Udine? You guys ready to go defeat him, even though he's the best?
Lost Belt 4 makes me cry.
If they were best, the Orch would let him live.
So,
You guys have a treat. I hope you guys have fun with Demeter. If you guys don't have Rider Gold, like Rider Kentucky, you guys want Rider Kentucky.
alright. So, we're gonna go... Fair enough. So, before we move on, actually we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide, and that is the things that are upcoming in 2022. We have the Fate Solomon movie that has been announced. Yay! Camelot Part 2, whenever, I don't really care. Fate Extra has been declared to be given a remake. I did not stay up at 4 in the morning to watch that because I didn't care.
Game?
Coming over
Yes, it is coming onto the Switch, if I recall correctly.
And PS4.
And PS4. Yes, the rock, paper, scissors game.
But they've updated the gameplay a bit. It looks really good.
So I think Fate Extra came out on the PSP in Japan in like 2010. So which means we probably won't get this remake until 2030 if their track record is accurate. But needless to say, I'm really looking forward to it as a diehard Extra fan. So real quick, who wants beans?
Bean!
All right, who wants?
You can literally chuck them, I don't really care.
Is that Romani?
Yes.
Okay, who wants Romani? All right. That's really unfair to people on this side of the room. Okay. Hey. Who wants Ramses? I really want Ramses. All right.
I want Ramses.
There's a nice little cluster right here. I'm gonna try to.
If you hit the camera, I'm gonna laugh.
All right, and who wants Sunboy Gwen? All right, somebody in this group really wants Gwen.
All the people in the back. People in the back.
How am I going to eat all the way back there?
Go harder!
Physics.
Go Braves, dude. We're in Atlanta.
By the way, go Braves, go Braves.
There's the other beam.
Let's go Braves.
There's more beams.
I feel sorry for anyone driving home.
We can play the rest later. Yeah.
No, Vinci?
Wait, did you guys skip over Prisma Ilia movie?
Yes.
I was about to talk about it. Well, or at least bring it up because I don't know anything about it. You're the one that knew about it.
Who here watches Prisma Ilia? Who here loved the shit out of Oath Under the Snow?
I actually did. I did like it.
Well, guess what? Prisma Ilia has a movie that just came out in Japan over the summer. It's the continuation of where it left off in Dre. So I'm totally looking forward to that, and be super excited for it because honestly, I think Prisma Ilia is some of the best Fate-related stuff that's been animated. Really cool.
As long as you can look over some of the suggestive stuff.
Hey.
Yep.
So, and of course, as long as we live, girls' works will live in our heart. Eventually, they will tell us about that.
One day.
That's for the 30th anniversary.
So,
That will be for the 30th anniversary.
it is getting near the end time of the panel. We do have a little bit of extra time, so we are going to bring up one little thing that I want to bring up to the panel. I am going to ask if you want to contribute to this, and I am gonna. How many? I got four. I got four of these little Beanie Boys up in front of me that I do need to get rid of. So I will probably be chucking them in someone's direction soon. And we also have some Fates. What else do we have? What's that weird
Fate
miniature thingy game? What is it? I don't know.
Fate Grand Order Duels.
Duels? That's what it's called?
I think so.
I'm just
Figures with a dual game. Yeah.
I spend enough money on cardboard. I'm not putting anything more on it.
Same.
So this is a thought that I had milling around my head probably last weekend when we were getting everything finalized for the panel. And I want to bring it up to the panelists, and if you guys have anything that you want to say in the last 5-10ish minutes that we have, feel free to raise your hand and blurt it out, I guess, or at least wait until we tell you. And now that all of the original Fate line, Fate Stay Night, is translated, is given a animated word, we now have everything here. We have Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Field. What's next?
Strange Fate.
Yes, that's the correct answer. But
Does day night
now,
Does day night actually count?
hold on. So this is the question that I want to pose. If you want to have a specific property animated, that's fine. I don't have a care in the world on that. However, if you have something a little more on the fringes, a little more esoteric that you want to potentially bring up, that is more what I'm looking for here. I want something a little bit more new than anything.
We want to randomly call people.
Yeah. Dude, get on over here.
If you have your hand raised and you want to say something, you might as well just walk towards the mic, honestly.
If you got a suggestion, give us a line. We'll see how
Except
many.
Trip, you can't get in the line, Trip. Fuck you.
Oh my god.
We'll see how many we can get through in 5 minutes. What you got?
Yes, I wanted to see a lot more of the original concept of notes with the future of humanity.
Are you following FGO at all?
Yes, I know they hinted at Type Mercury, but I want to see more about the entire story and especially the future.
but if you know Fate Grand Order, you know.
Yeah, but
Isn't it? It's great though, right? The
Yes.
fact that you see it and the fact that it's wow, that's Black Barrel. That's fucking Black Barrel.
When you showed me that still, I legit thought it was photoshopped.
No, it's
I thought you were
it's
lying.
legit Black Barrel. But anyways, good question. And like, you know, we can be hopeful that the Lost World animes will be good.
If anything, just getting anything from the notes would be great.
I just want to see that giant sword.
I mean, you know what else is coming out in the next Lost World in Japan,
The sword is up
right?
for grabs.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he
Cool.
does.
Appreciate it, bro.
Because the sword is up for grabs.
Next.
Well, you got mine. I was thinking of notes as well. I know we got the Lord Elwood case files a few years ago.
Yes.
I also know
Finally.
that there's a little bit of information out there about, I want to say it's Type Mercury that's warped. I'd like to see more information about that, just because I've seen the model for it and it looks really cool.
So, do you follow FGM at all? So, little...
No
So,
spoilers.
Or for the longest time was a meme in the Type Moon universe. It's just like, Wart, what the fuck is he doing here? He's just being a troll. He showed up so early and he's just this all-power like true ancestor. What the fuck is he doing here? What is he doing here? So in the latest FGO chapter, or what you figure out is that a suspicious being is in South America,
Yeah.
and the future Lost Belt happens to take place in a convenient place, which is also South America. So I wonder what's going to show up there.
Big question marks. Alright, appreciate it, bro.
3 quick things. 1, apparently I was informed that the sword is up for grabs.
Yes.
2, James, Asian James. What?
That's what we call him.
Invariably, when the servers get shut down, what are you gonna do with your life when Fate Ranger eventually dies?
Come to Arknight, every single other name.
What are you gonna spend your money on?
Trying to take
Come
over.
to Arknight, bro.
And the actual question I wanted to ask all of you: who would win in a death match? One berserker-sized Neko, or 100 Neko-sized berserkers?
100 Neko-sized
Neko. Just Neko.
What's up?
I give that question a Mia out of 10. Probably gonna sound really strange, but I doubt that will happen. But I want to see some like the Melty Blood scenarios animated.
Yeah, I'd be down with that. That'd be great. If anything,
I mean, we don't have a Tsukihime anime.
That's what we need. We don't.
We don't have a Tsukihime.
we need to fix their error.
Wait.
But yeah, no, a few of the Melty Blood routes I think would be great animated. That'd be awesome. Like any in particular that you're thinking of? Because I got like 2 in my head.
I'll be honest. I've only played Type Luna. So
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I've seen some screenshots from like the whole one, like the
Oh, are you a multiplayer?
yeah.
Who's your main?
Miyako,
Of course you're a main. Who's your secondary?
Sable.
Right on.
Okay.
Respect that. Hell yeah, man. All right, cool.
Thank you.
Yo, imagine Dust of Osiris animated. Jesus Christ.
Yo, Dust of Osiris animated would be awesome.
That would be sick.
That in the conspiracy of the Nekos teleporting to their reality model.
Hello, how are you?
Anyway,
So this goes back to the notes thing, but I would love to see Slash Emperor.
Oh.
Yes.
okay.
Mr. Super Busted Ether Liner. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I would love
All right, yeah.
I mean, we can be hopeful. Like, the thing is, like, Fate Grand Order seems to be where they just put all the obscure, like, notes and, like, random stuff lore from the Type Moon universe. But
Like they're finally getting around to it again.
You mentioned new Fate properties if you want. Can we get Fate Requiem animated, please?
I mean, that would be cool, yeah.
there's a Fate Grand Order event for it. What's up, buddy?
How are you guys?
How you doing?
All right, DDD. That's what we want. Who has read DDD? Oh, come on.
Have you read DDD?
Anybody?
You should have already known that I didn't read DD.
Yeah, I know you, but maybe the other 3 I'd hope for.
No, I think I've like skimmed it.
You
I
should
don't
read
think
it.
I've
It's
actually-
quite good, and it would be great animated. Also, yeah. Tsukihime
It's,
remake.
it's mainly because I was more interested in like seeing what the Divine Beasts actually look like and what they do.
It's not important.
I mean, I'm too caught up in, like, as I said before, like, Fate Grand Order is just like the cesspool where they just move all the Type Moon lore. Like, they just figured was like, hey, you know, people like this kind of stuff. I don't know actually how to put it in a serious story, but maybe Fate Grand Order players will appreciate it. I don't know.
So I guess that's our homework from now until MumbleCon is to all read DDD.
I ain't doing shit.
If you guys do like the stump the panel next time, I'm gonna ask you DDD questions.
Okay. All right. That's
I'm ready for it.
Do you want a prize? You can take a prize.
Oh, sure. Take a prize. Give me something. What do you have?
Just take whatever you want.
Okay.
Thank you, Astro.
All right, so 2 things I need to check before I put this forward is 1, it's part of Type Moon, and 2, I didn't hallucinate it, but I'd love to see more in the canon part of the Gnossiverse.
Oh my god, why?
I thought it was cool.
Why the fuck is there always somebody who's just like, oh, canon?
I don't know, I put it on Netflix years ago for the 3DS and watched canon. I was like, wow, what's this? It's cool. Years later, someone says, oh, you don't think Zero? It's in the same universe. So I'm like, oh, that's cool.
We need a Canon Grand Order cross like event.
Please,
It's going to be the catalyst
please.
for the Canon canonization.
Yeah, but like, the anime left off on a cliffhanger, and I'm like, where do we go from here?
How long ago was that? How long ago was that cliffhanger, my friend?
I mean, how long ago was like...
I don't remember. I don't remember when canon aired.
Enter Gudiko.
All right. So let's see.
7 years. It's gonna happen now.
As much as I want to ramble, let's go ahead and make the next few a little bit quick. That way.
I love your merch, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Paint Pecco.
Yes,
What we got?
Pekoro's my favorite. Also, honestly, I think a Tsukihime movie would be pretty nice.
I mean,
Over an anime, I think
If they gave Tsukihime the Heaven's Field treatment, I'd be 100% down for that.
like honestly speaking, like they have the money. It's not like they don't have the money.
Oh,
It's
they
just-
definitely have the money.
Like,
Maybe it's
it's
just
just-
from you.
Like, it's honestly a very big surprise to me that they didn't honestly consider getting an English translation for like Melting Blood. Maybe it might just because the Melting Blood community has been like so niche and just playing their games in the bathroom, but I don't know.
Hey man, those are the
Best place to play. Good ambiance.
Yeah, but that doesn't give me a movie, and I want a movie.
It's good.
It's a good place for shitty people to be.
Anyway.
How many lolies do I have to sacrifice for this?
Okay.
Yes. It's okay, you can just send a super chat, it'll be good.
Does Ilya count for more?
Hello, best boy.
You want a waifu?
Hello, I'm wife.
Hello, waifu.
So I got you.
Do you have an MP5 Muramasa?
Yes, I do.
I know you do.
I got a level 103 MP5 Ramasa.
Let's keep going on. Keep going on.
Mine, I've got, so we had that teaser animation for Fate Prototype.
Yes.
I just want the series. Yeah. Because that animation was really cool. And then the other one is Type Redline. Because
Redline is cool. Yeah.
Redline is awesome.
I actually would like Redline more than Prototype, honestly.
Yeah.
Okita best go.
Hey, I just want to know your opinion, or if you're just aware of this about the Suki-R English translation and just that whole fiasco.
I have not looked into the English translation rework because I actually own the physical game in JP and I've just been playing that.
Well, I think he has a. Go on. You had a.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's sort of in the works, but I mean, I don't really have.
I mean, have you been following how Mahoyo is going?
We still don't have.
Unless I start seeing real scripts, I don't really believe it.
I don't know. It was okay. It was originally machine translated from deep learning, which is not very good, but that was like the point. And then they've just been like a bunch of translators have been all working together to do it.
But you know how Mahoyo has been translated, right? About the whole fiasco about how we're waiting.
Yeah, they're working on. They're one of the people working on.
Yeah, but you know how it went from English to Japanese to Japanese to
French
French
to English. Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to cut it there.
All right. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would like to continue that. We continue that outside. So we got about like 2 minutes left. So
Okay.
let's finish this up.
So I'm just gonna say that a base series that I'd like to see like somewhat animated. We've seen like I feel like Shaft is already working on like a CCC anime. That's gonna happen eventually, but something I want to see more attention on is like Foxtail. Have you guys read that at all?
Yes.
So I think if they do another extra adaptation, it needs to be based off the manga. So it needs to follow the extra manga, the CCC manga, and the Foxtail manga in that order.
Yeah, but in order to get to like Foxtail, so isn't there a lot of like ground we have to cover? Because you have to cover the entirety of CCC, right?
Yeah, you have to go through CCC before you get
Yeah,
to
the only
it.
thing we have is like Last Encore. Last Encore.
But that's the correct way to do it, to your point, yeah, so.
All right. Oh, hey, George.
Yo, what's up? Honestly, forget all those other properties. I just want Nasu to stop leaving all this lore and character material in the back burner and give us a continuation of any of these properties. I mean, think about it. The closest thing we have to a continuation of a previous story is Melty Blood, the Elmaloy animation, which is already based off the series of novels, and for all intents and purposes, FGO. So what I'm simply looking for is just, where do all these great stories go from there? That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
And Hollow Ataraxia too. I mean,
Yeah, we had
I
that
want to
same,
not count that.
we had that same conversation earlier today, how Fate Stay Night needs like a sequel to like Adult Shiro.
Well, not even just like Fate or Tsukihime in general, just a new story that's like, yeah, this is taking place after like some portions of Tsukihime, but can also like have some material from Fate carried over as well, something like that.
The thing I will say to that is that where else is Shiro supposed to go? Like, we've seen like multiple facets of his character already in different ways.
I mean, there's always a story afterwards. So.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's like the argument of wanting people to animate the Fate Stay Night anime,
So-
the Dean work.
So real quick, I want to pause because I know we have a couple of cosplayers in the room that I don't recognize. There we have an Atalanta, we got a Rin, we got a Tamamo. Do you guys have this? If you don't, get it. Okay, there's a Facebook group too. It's just called Type Moon Southeast Cosplayers.
And just real quick, I'd like to appreciate all y'all for crediting the artists of those sermons that you showcased for NGO.
Oh yeah, what, you think I'm not going to include the
That's our
sauce?
policy.
Thank you.
What, you think I was not going to add the sauce? Come on, man, I gotta add the sauce.
You gotta ask this.
Oh my God, Shane, what do you want?
I forgot my question, actually.
Yeah, get out of here.
All right, last two.
Last two.
What I would really like to see animated is Fate, Strange Fate.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Strange Fate, yes, all day, yes.
I was waiting for episode 1 in Gilgamesh and Akidu just blowing up the Nevada desert. That's
Yeah,
how
I just want to see a Numa Alice versus a Numa Alice.
Yes, I
Gil-
want
creation
Strange
versus
Fate so
destruction.
bad.
By the way, if you guys don't want this to end and want to continue on our nerdy conversations, QR code.
Where are you going after this, though?
Probably outside.
Just right outside. We'll be in the
To go get messed up.
Also that.
All right, and last one. What you got?
So, I'd like a one-shot type series for like specific servants or groups of servants.
You know, one shot of Red? Yes.
No, not like,
Yes.
it's more like I want to see like the round table when they're alive and in action, or like I mean like official more or less.
No, I'm with you. I'm with
Or
you.
like I want to see what did Archer really go through, or like
Oh, you want to watch what Archer actually... So actually, fun enough, Joey...
what, is he a fanfiction writer or something?
Archer went through to do Archer.
Oh, yeah. So, if Strange Fate did not exist, because my answer is always going to be Strange Fate until they get off their asses and have the courage to actually fucking make it, I actually would love to see I guess you'd say, a origin story of Enya Archer, and what happens after Stay Night is done, and actually animate all of it, so we actually see his process of going from this high-idealed asshole into someone that literally becomes the quote-unquote angel of death for the Grail. I actually think that would be incredibly fantastic.
I want, to your point, a Charlemagne one-shot with all of his paladins, including Astolfo, and all of them would have cool designs, and you would see what he was up to. And maybe he would find a certain wreck of a certain alien corpse somewhere, we don't know.
So what extra CCC should have been, but wasn't?
Yeah.
I can live with that.
It's like, I see like the first in the first clip, you see Heracles' story, but it's all so short, and there's a bunch of details in like those quick few seconds. I mean,
that's just how Shiro is, though.
No, but you notice, I just want to know the story behind, the Naziverse take on the myth itself.
I mean, but that's just the asset of his character, about how he's like Kiritsugu was super conscious.
I mean, he's talking about other servants, though.
Yeah,
other
other
servants that have historical background.
So, when Shiro had that little mind, of the 12 labors.
Like the click, he's different facets.
No, but the 12 labors.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
This is going down the rabbit
Hey,
hole.
Bonnie, I can give away the sword, right?
Yeah.
So,
I want it.
You want the sword?
Yeah, I'll take it.
You can take it.
Are you
want
good
it?
with electronics?
Lucky motherfucker.
Hey, are you good with electronics?
Kinda.
There's a channel. There's 2 channels in there for you to run LEDs,
Womp womp.
Hey, real
so
quick.
you can make it glow.
Hey, real quick. Avani,
then
stand up real quick.
Hello.
She made the sword. She is what we would consider in the group a prop making subject matter expert. And she does make the things. So if you want one of these, give it her.
Yeah.
Alright.
If you don't want to put the LEDs, just super glue it in and it'll hold.
Okay.
All right, are any of you guys want to get eat? So we should probably go.
Yeah. NeoPixels.
Okay, so
NeoPixels.
that's been 2021. Thank you guys so much for coming. And until next time, we'll catch you guys later.
Can I get Benji beans?
Thank you guys, by the way.
I'll be chucking beans in a second.
Benji beans. Whose headlights are these?
I am not responsible for those.